Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fawaz Aben and my last student number is 75. I would like to report my study about challenges of students facing education in pandemic. It has been more than a year since the COVID-19 pandemic has become such a serious problem on earth. All activities are carried out indoors and cannot be gathered together. In Indonesia itself, the first positive case of COVID-19 was announced on March 2nd, 2020. This announcement was made directly by Joko Widodo at the Merdeka Palace, Jakarta. Not long ago, WHO gave several recommendations for preventive measures to the government directly. This activity is carried out online. This is also felt by the students of MTS State 1 Banyumas, where students do online learning. Not a few students experience problems with doing online learning, especially for new students in class 7C who have just entered junior high school. In the 21st century, students are required to be able to develop five main skills, namely critical thinking, communicative, collaborative, creative, and problem-solving skills. The use of learning methods and approaches also needs to be studied carefully in order to maximize the development of the five 21st century skills. Because of this, the researchers conducted research on what is the mechanism of education during a pandemic, what are the obstacles experienced by students during the learning in the pandemic, and what is the solution to the problems experienced by students, and what are the appropriate learning methods and approaches used for. And then the objectives of this research are to knowing the mechanism of education during a pandemic, knowing the obstacles experienced by students during learning in the pandemic, and knowing the solution to the problems experienced by students, and knowing the learning methods and approaches that are suitable for learning during the pandemic. The data collection method used in early research used cluster random sampling technique, with data collection using questionnaires and interview research instruments. This questionnaire is intended to identify the figures from the data obtained. Then, after the data has been collected, interviews will be conducted randomly to the participants who have filled out the questionnaire. In practice, the population of this research is all students of class 7C with a total of 32 students. The sample of the study amounted to 32 students with a sampling error of 1% and a validity level of 99%. The conclusion based on the result and the discussion, learning during the pandemic period, especially at MTS State 1 Banyumas, can still be said to be not optimal. This is directly proportional to the readiness of students and teaching staff in starting a new era of education. The researcher found that almost all learning in the school was carried out online, although they had started a trial of face-to-face meeting, but this was unfair and less effective. This is influenced by the strict health protocol that must be adhered to so that it limits the space and time of students in learning. The obstacles most often encountered by students are related to their internet access. Although they get free quota internet, some of them complain that they cannot use the internet quota. Because of the obstacle experienced by students, not a few of them are less familiar with the material taught by the teacher. Based on the conclusion above, the authors suggest to all the parties to be able to prepare each in the face of the new era of education. In addition, teaching staff also need to improve strategies in teaching in this era. This can be achieved by improving and using appropriate teaching methods and approaches. Moreover, in the 21st century, students are required to be able to continue to develop five main skills. I think that's all for me. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.